There are other things we can do to add detail and beauty to our project. I'm going to take a D434 border tool, and as you see, I'm stamping a border along this strand. Being very careful where I come up to where I cross over, I can lean my tool back and just put a light impression. Now we will continue on this strand all the way through the length of our pattern. And now I will start another row. Please notice that I'm making sure that the tool points in the same direction, meaning the scallop will be pointing down in this direction. And now we will continue this with all 4 strands. And this is how our piece looks after we have used the D435 border stamp. At this time we can leave this pattern the way it is, or we could use a M885 or any other matting tool of your choice, and we can mat in the open areas in here and around the edge to create more depth. All we need to do now is carefully mat down the areas, as you can see here. Now we will continue to mat, being very careful not to stamp anywhere on our stems. As you need to, you can tip the tool from one side to the other to get a smaller impression. This is how our piece looks after we have matted down all of the areas in between the weave. Now, if we want, we can also mat around the edges to get more depth. To do that, we will hold the tool and tip it forward, as you can see me doing here. Now, as I tip it, I can walk it along the edge. Make sure you hold the tool straight up and down so that you do not get tool marks. Now, after you do the edge, we can come back and lightly, as we rotate the tool, we can extend this area on out until it fades to nothing. Notice that I'm rotating the tool. This is very important because we don't really want to get a pattern there, just texture. And as you can see, our pattern now stands out very nicely from the plain leather. I have tooled several pieces of leather using the techniques we just covered. Now I would like to show you some finishing ideas that will really make your work look good. Let's take a few moments to show you how to do a little bit of finishing on this, where we can add color and some nice special effects. I'm going to take some super sheen and I'm going to paint it on this or on these strands with a nice pointed brush. Now I'm only going to paint the strands, nothing else, and later on we will come back with a an antique finish, and we will apply it, and we will see the effect that we get. There are other ways you can add color. One would be to paint the strands with EcoFlow Cova color. The other would be to antique the entire piece without any resist, or with the Cova color. And now we have completed all of the painting of the weave, and we'll put this aside to dry for a long time, at least overnight. On this first piece, I would like to use a product called EcoFlow Highlight Colorant, and this is a tan color. So all I have to do to use it is I have done nothing to this leather except to just do the tooling and let it dry thoroughly. And now I will take a paper towel and wipe. And as you can see, not only does it color it nicely, but it gives us a nice two-tone finish. It makes our tooling stand out quite nicely. On this next piece, I'd like to use the same product, but on this one now, I have applied a coat of EcoFlow Super Sheen and let it dry overnight. And now you can see we will get a different look. We'll still have the nice effect, and it's somewhat lighter because of the resist we put on there. On this piece, I have painted Super Sheen around the outside and then in the inside parts now, and we have applied nothing to the weave itself. So let's see what kind of an effect we get from this. Here again, we'll make sure we get it down in all of the stamp impressions and the cuts, and make sure we get it covered completely. You need to use a liberal application of this for best results. And now I will take my paper towel and wipe. And you can probably see the difference now in that the woven part is darker and the background is lighter. This is the opposite effect of what we did earlier. On this piece, I'm going to use some mahogany colored EcoFlow Gel Antique, and I will point out to you that on this one I have put some resist on the weave. Now let's see what happens here with this color. And as you can see, we get a real nice effect using this one. And now I'll use a little water on my paper towel and make it even nicer. Here is another piece that I have done. In this case, I have not done anything to this except to let it dry after I tooled it. Now I'm going to use a medium brown Eco Flow gel antique. Put some on a piece of sheep wool and just rub it. As you can see, making sure I get down in all of the knife cuts and stamping impressions. And now with a paper towel, I can rub. If it does not all come off as you would like, you can put a little water on your towel and it will remove more of it. As you can see, we have another really good looking piece. Here's another one I would like to use the Eco Flow Gel Antique of the medium brown. I have applied it, of course, to my sheep wool pad. Now as I rub this, you'll see I'm getting it down in all of the cuts and indentations. And now I will rub it. Now notice how nice the rope stands out. It stands out because I have placed a resist on the rope and let it dry overnight.